Alright gang, welcome back to our competitive one-tile challenge here on Farmlands. It is now October, and I've been pretty busy off camera. Specifically, we got the rest of that field plowed up, so it's ready to go. We will be putting in, I think we'll do wheat today. I'm not 100% sold on that yet, but I think that's what we're going to be doing is some wheat. But we'll figure that out nonetheless. And as you can see straight ahead here, I did do some mowing in the last episode of this section here, and I've got that all pretty much cleaned up. There's a little bit of grass up there that I still need to pick up, and that's okay because we're going to mow this little section here as well, because we are going to be doing something with this area here. Now, what we're going to be doing is putting down some goats. If you've watched my Vintage Survival series, you will know where this is going. There is a mod. Whoop! I'm just gonna run right into the drill. Good job, Z. There is a mod that we were utilizing in that Vintage Survival series, and I figured out that it is extremely useful for a series like this. That's how I'm gonna put it. Big money is to be had with this mod. So if you haven't watch the Vintage Survival series, then this is going to be completely new to you. If you have, then you probably know what I'm talking about. What we're going to be doing is, oh, here comes Rusty, just running into me. Here we go. The shenanigans are already starting. Here we go. Off camera before we started, which was only a few minutes, I sold a couple loads of silage. That's why we have $20,000 in the account. Rusty Money was chasing me down like somebody on their property that didn't want me on their property. Almost what it reminded me of, I'm not even kidding you, the way it looked, and I wish I was recording so I could show it to you, because you would laugh. If any of you played, like, the original classic Paperboy, I'm talking old school, like Nintendo NES, like Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, like, Paperboy, and you'd go by a house throwing the papers or whatever, and that one guy would come running out, like, trying to hit you. That's what it reminded me of. It was insane. I wish I could have recorded it. We could have made some fun with that. I could have turned it into kind of a horror thing. It would have been pretty funny. But anyway, so, you know, the shenanigans are already starting, I guess is how I will put it. Rusty just decided to start with a battering ram of the tractor. So that was pretty funny. Anyway, what was I saying? So we're going to be doing a production that is going to allow us to make aged goat cheese. So what we're going to do is put down some goats in this area that I've kind of mowed up here. We're not going to, I don't know exactly where I'm going to start the actual goat area or sanctuary pen, whatever. I'm not really sure where that's going to be at yet. I kind of have to figure that out still. But before we do that, we obviously have to get the rest of this mowed here. I don't really want to waste this bit of grass here that's been has regrown, you know, since the last time, I guess is how I'll put it. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man, all things considered. I've been a little bit behind this week on getting some videos done overall, and the reason for that is because, well, it's getting close to holiday Christmas time, and my work had our Christmas party this week, actually. It was earlier this week by the time this video comes out, but many of you know I record this with Crustu and Rusty Money Gaming Tuesday nights. I had the Christmas party at the time of this recording the night before, so on Monday night. And there's some people still in town, so I've had to kind of, you know, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for right now, schmooze, I guess. That's not really the word I'm looking for. But, you know, I had to kind of hang out with them after work, go to dinner, things like that. So I haven't had as much time as I had expected. And I kind of forgot about the Christmas party. It's probably not a good thing to say, but I did. I kind of forgot about it. So it's a bit on me, right? It's a bit of a mistake on me, but... you know, we're getting back in the groove here. We'll get it all sorted out here pretty quickly and be back and ready to go once again. Now, for most of you, when I say this, most of you, you really probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. You probably don't really understand that I've been missing videos being out there, but more specifically what I'm talking about is any member on the channel gets early access to videos, right? And so normally I have some videos out there for them to watch early, and lately I just haven't had that many out there for them. So and obviously Sunday, I missed Sunday's episode as well. Sunday's episode was just mostly because of the weekend and what happened in the weekend for me. Wasn't really planning on it or anticipating it, but it just ended up being a situation where we just ran out of time. So Anyway, enough of that. So we're going to get this all kind of windrowed up here. I know a couple people have mentioned, you know, do you even really need to do any of the windrowing and stuff like that in previous episodes? And you're right, I don't necessarily have to. I could just go straight with the loading wagon, forage wagon. Pick it up directly. I do think it makes it easier, though, when I do the windrowing, so that's the reason why we're doing it. You would typically want to do that in real life anyway. So we're going to windrow it up, I guess that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, what we're going to do today is put the goats down. I don't think we're going to have enough money to put down the production I'm talking about, but that's okay. We're not really going to have a whole lot of goat milk for a number of episodes anyway, right? We're not going to have anything for a while. So if we don't end up having enough money to do it, and I don't think we will, then it's not that big of a deal, is what I'm trying to get at. We at least need to get the goats down today, and then I want to drill that field over there, like I mentioned. And then we'll probably, depending on the situation, maybe do some more mowing and maybe start, you know, planning out another field as well. That's kind of the goal, hopefully. I feel like I am slightly behind these guys. They have a little bit of a starting advantage, but having said that, I do know Crustu he's struggling. He is struggling in this episode for sure. He's in the negative at the start of this episode, so I do know he's struggling. Rusty seems to be doing a little bit better overall. He's got some more money to his name. Now, we're not really in any concern, in my opinion, for, you know, going into a negative at any point anytime soon, because we do have the silage, right? You know, driving it as far away as we've had to, not the most ideal situation, but nonetheless, it does make us money, right? So, you know, we can offset, and we have been offsetting the loan with that approach, right? So it's not as big of a concern to me that I have to pay the loan interest every month. Another thing we're going to be doing is those pumpkins there that have spawned, we are going to be selling those today. I think the best month for them is actually September, October, one of the two. So we're going to be selling those. Those are going to make us a good amount of money, a real good amount of money. So that's going to be very helpful for us with our goat pasture, or, you know, pen, or whatever it is we decide to do with the goats. It's going to help us out tremendously. Now, all this grass I'm going to pick up here, likely not going to put this into our silage silo here, or bunker, or whatever you want to call it, a pit. We're likely not going to put that in there. All the grass that I mowed already is in here. There's not a ton of grass in there. As you can see, there's only 17,000, but there's enough for the time being. What I would ideally like to do is put all of this in for the goats. That way they're, you know, good to go for a while. I don't necessarily have to worry about them for a while. So that's my goal. That's my vision. Now, as far as the actual how far the goat, you know, pasture pin's going to go, I'm kind of being a little, without actually admitting that before now, I'm being a little wishy-washy about where I want to put them. I think what I'm going to end up doing, right or wrong, is this area here that we just mowed. This is probably going to be more of a yard type of extension. Sorry, I can hit the microphone there. I don't know if you heard that or not, but more of like a yard type of extension for us to be able to put down some productions, like the aged goat cheese production we're going to be putting down at some point in the near future. Now, not everything has to be over here in the yard. Obviously, we can expand and have multiple different areas that have, you know, productions and things around the map here. But early on, I do think it makes sense to kind of keep everything relatively close, since we haven't expanded through the whole field or anything yet. Now, I do think that is one thing that we are slightly behind on, and the reason why we're behind on that is because we're doing the silage, right? None of those guys are doing silage at all. I don't know for sure if I'm doing the right approach or if they're going the wrong approach. To me, it feels like I am going the right approach, but who knows? Because I'm getting, you know, kind of a little bit of extra money out of this versus what I normally would get, if you will. Because I'm mowing it first, and then we're plowing it up and doing, you know, all the needed for that to turn it into a field, right? So, who knows? I guess we'll figure that out as we move along. Looks like Rusty is taking... looks like he's taking some of his pallets. Is that a sell point that he put down there? Oh, maybe he might have saw that I caught on to him. What's he doing? What's he doing? Let's see if that's a sell point. He's nervous to go in there right now, isn't he? Interesting. Okay. That might be a sell point. I don't remember if we actually had a sell point like that installed or not. Or maybe that's his silo. What a quinky dinky right there. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to be putting this grass into the silage pit. Like I said, we're going to hold on to it for the time being. And we're going to start working on putting down some of the goats that I talked about. So, let's jump into our construction here. This is the special dairy, the aged goat cheese I'm talking about. It's here in this special dairy. I'm kind of hoping that they don't notice that it's in here. I'm sure they will, but I'm kind of hoping that they don't, at least for a little while, so I can maybe get a little bit of a leg up on them from that perspective. So here's all the different choices we have for sheep. So we've got these pasture-like things here. I'm kind of tempted to do the auto water, if I'm honest with you. Automatic watering system sounds pretty nice to me, so I'm kind of tempted to do that. Now, the way this works, I think, is just kind of it's pretty much what Crustu has here for his sheep, right? Where it's just an open field. There's not like anything that's preventing them. It is a sell point. Oh, that little sneaky little Rusty. There's not like any fences, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. So you can kind of figure it out from there, I guess, is how I'll put it. But yeah, I think it's going to work out well. So let's do here. I think that should be enough room. I hope that's enough room. And yes, I want to customize. Yes, I want to customize. So we're going to go, I don't know, about to there, I guess. And like I said, I want to go pretty far here. I mowed pretty far. I don't want to go to the extent of the end here, but I think something around about where we mowed to, I think it makes a lot of sense. That's my opinion, at least. And for some reason, it goes back like that. I don't know why. Maybe if I do this. Do I want to put meadow for the sheep pasture? Yes. Okay, so we're there. I think it might kind of cut from here to here, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that small little corner that is there. But I think that is a relatively large goat pasture there, right? That is pretty large. So hopefully what I said is the truth, and hopefully it gives us plenty of room. And obviously, $4,000 later, a little bit more than that, I guess, but around $4,000, well, I guess it was $5,300 if you really want to look at it properly. 192 goats. I feel like that's pretty daggone good, man. Right? Where's the trigger? Here we go. So we want goats. We don't want sheep. We want goats. I'm going to buy full... prepared, ready-to-go goats. It's gonna... Oh my gosh, goats are so expensive. Maybe I shouldn't buy as many as I thought here. Maybe I should buy... I don't know how many you think I should get here, gang. I mean, we got the pumpkins to sell, which is the good thing, I guess. That's going to make us money. We've got a little bit of silage as well to sell that I haven't sold already. So 26 of them will cost us $14,000. Let's do 25. That's a lot. It sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But let's do 25 for the time being. Alright, we have got goats in there, gang. Alright, so we need to drop some food off to them. They've already got the water, so they're good there. Now, we're probably going to need to put a heck of a lot of grass in there. I don't know exactly how much it's going to hold, but I would suspect it's a lot. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not as much as I thought. Look at all of them running over here. Look at them running. That is hilarious. Look at them running over here to come get some food. Look at them galloping over here. That is hilarious. Look at them. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. Okay, so really they should be fine. I mean, there's no meadow grass there yet, but they will get some meadow grass in the next episode. There's, I mean, the trough is half full with food. I do feel like we're going to be putting a lot of grass in there on a constant basis, though. Once we get the full plethora of goat that can be in there, right? There's a lot of goats there. A lot of goats. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Well, what I think I would like to do is get these pumpkins. I'm going to leave that there because we're going to probably do sell a load of silage here towards the end. I'd like to get those pumpkins up. Now, I don't have any specific way to pick up the pallets of pumpkins right now. We do have in this series the ability to do liftable bale and pallet mods, and they're all utilizing that already, and I haven't, so we're going to utilize that now. As much as I would like to use some kind of a forklift or things like that, I do think this is the easier way to go about it, for sure, and it definitely helps us out when we only are doing one episode a week anyway, right? With a very limited time time schedule towards that as well, right? We only are recording for about an hour and then about 30-ish minutes after that for some off-camera work, similar to what you saw at the beginning, right? I did some mowing or whatever, and I cleaned up, or finished up, I should say, the remainder of plowing that field. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it, I also fixed the lime as well. There was a tiny little sliver of lime that we didn't hit. I did that as well. So all of that was accomplished kind of off camera in that 30 plus minutes. It was ended up being almost 40, I think, last episode that we did, off camera work. So now these pumpkins are, they're going to be something here. Now, I kind of want to see how much or how cheap. Oh, speaking of that, there's a fantastic tractor out here too. I was considering getting that tractor, but I don't think we really need it right now. I mean, we would love to have it. It's got a little more horsepower, so I'd love to have it, but I just don't think it really makes a whole lot of sense. So Rusty's sales is 1,076. The farmer's market is slightly more, so we probably will sell it at his sell shop one time just to kind of get his gears going, because we're utilizing his sell point. But in this instance, it is a little bit more financially responsible for us to head up to the farmer's market and make, I don't know, 100 and something bucks more off these pumpkins. Now, granted, there's only 4,000 liters of pumpkins, but we're still going to make a little over $4,500 off of this. So. And really all it's cost us was, putting water into it, right? And so once you already have the stuff down, which we do, right? We've got the water tank down and we've got the water point down. It's really free money, if you will, right? It's just money that's going to be constantly incoming. All right, there you go. 2,500 bucks, basically. A little over 500 bucks. Or 2,000, sorry. 4,500 bucks. A little over 4,500 bucks. Not bad. That gets us back in a little bit of a better spot, too, right? Because we talked about it, right? We've got about $1,600 and something dollars of loan interest every single month, right? So we just need to make sure that we've got enough money to cover that every month. I don't want to go into the red like Crestu has. And speaking of that, I don't know for sure if he's got out of the red. He has got himself out of the red. I am now the lowest total amount of money on the farms. But yeah, it's okay. It's all right. We paid a lot of money for those goats. I think it's worth it. It's going to make us a lot of money. A lot of money. Now, one other thing we do have, and I'm pretty sure they're not good to sell right now, but one other thing we do have are eggs, right? We've got not a full pallet of eggs yet, but we do have some eggs over there. So that's a potential something for us to consider selling at some point when we need to. Now, what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to grab the drill, and we're going to get started on drilling the field that we plowed up and started to plow up, at least in the end of the last episode. What are we going to put in there? Great question. It's probably going to be barley or wheat, because I think that's all we can really do. I guess we could do oilseed radish, but I'm not going to do that. I don't know which one I want to do, barley or wheat. I mean, right now, more than likely, we're not going to have a whole lot of money to be able to do any kind of flour. I would love to do some flour, but I don't think we're going to have money at least the first time around. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to. So wheat's going to make us a bit more money. A lot of this is probably going to go to the chickens, too. Unless we want to just buy it outright. So, I mean, if we're going to do for the chickens, then I guess maybe barley's the way to go. I think we're going to do wheat. This is a large field. I think we can do another smaller sized field, hopefully today, you know, for the chickens potentially, right? That way we have some food incoming for the chickens and we don't have to pay for chicken feed anymore. I spent a little money over here. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I spent a little money over here trying to straighten this out, and I thought about it some more, and I'm like, what am I doing? I mean, to be fair, we put down lights and fences and stuff, and that's not really helping us in the overall total amount of money, but really just painting the ground just to make it look a little bit better. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking it was a normal series, I guess, but so it's a little late for that, but then, you know, it's already done, but we won't be doing that anymore. If I'm a little bit off on some of the stuff, we're just gonna run with it. So we're gonna get this field in with some wheat, and then we will see about probably starting a little bit more mowing. Maybe get another field plowed up and at least prepared for the next episode. We got to put some lime down on this field as well. Again, we don't have a ton of money for the lime, but we got to do that too. So yeah, let's get to work. Let's see what we can get done here, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got quite a lot done there, gang. We got another field set up here. It's not the largest field in the world by any means, but it is going to do the trick for especially being able to feed the chickens. I think that's going to be a perfect field size for that. Now, it did leave a very, very small amount of room to the right of that. What we might end up doing in the long run is kind of expanding that field into that section there. For now, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal that we did leave that section there. We've got to be very cognizant here of, the size of the farm here and the equipment that we've got. So, I guess what I'm trying to get at is early on here, early stages, clearly we are, struggling a bit because, we don't have big equipment. We don't have anything that can get us through things at a quicker pace here. And we got to be cognizant of that, right? So, it's not like I can make, 8 or 9 fields right now, which I think is kind of what the way that Krusty and Rusty are going. I think they're going to, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, and if I am, I will fully eat my words here. But I think they are going to struggle when it becomes time to harvest. They are going to have so much to do in an hour episode, an hour and a half, if you count the 30 extra minutes or so of, cleanup work. I think they are going to be struggling to get things done. That's what I think. Now, maybe they're going to be, trying to ask me to stay on longer for the the off-camera work that you can do, and maybe considering the situation, I might give in to an extent, but I do think they're going to be struggling nonetheless. I think there's a chance that they're going to have so much to do that they're going to run out of time, even if I do give them a little bit of extra time to do some of the tie up loose ends, clean things up, etc. as we have been doing up to this point, right? Now, when I say tie things up, clean things up, doesn't necessarily mean you have to do any of that, as I just did between the last episode and this one, right? I did a lot of the mowing already, and obviously I finished up the plowing of the field that we drilled with wheat today. But you get what I mean, right? It's not like I went above and beyond and made something massive or anything. I really didn't. I just mowed up a section of grass that I knew my goal was to turn in the goats, especially after we had kind of had a conversation. And when I say we, all three of us had a conversation about adding some more production mods into the series. Now, the odds are none of us are really going to be utilizing a lot of those production mods for quite a while because we really don't have that much money, and we're just kind of getting started. But, eventually we will be, right? And there's a high chance we might add some more mods later on. Who knows? But we kind of went through it together on Discord in our little chat between the three of us and agreed to add the mods that we have. And I didn't really show you any of those mods. I will show them to you as we move along here. But, you will probably see a good chunk of them, if not all of them, on the series at some point between one or all three of us. The one that I was most concerned with is the one I kind of mentioned already, and I understand somebody's probably in the yelling at me in the comments, well, you just told him what it was now, see? So how are you really going to sneak through it? Yeah, I did, but, it's not like it's cheap. It's $25,000, so it's not like it's a cheap thing to put down, right? So, the odds are whenever I do decide to put it down, they're not going to have enough money to do it then either, unless they go the approach I'm going. So, I maybe get a little bit of a leg up on them for, a couple of months or whatever, right? And I'm not necessarily saying that anything they're putting down isn't going to be better than what I'm considering putting down. It very well could be. Some of the things they're considering to do may be a lot better, but just based off of our history with the aged goat cheese, I do know it's a pretty good production. So it's all supposed to be friendly here, gang. I understand it's a competition against each other, and we're playing around, messing around, but it's not like I'm trying to specifically hide something from anybody, right? And we've all kind of agreed to or talked about it. I don't know for sure if they've all been doing it every single episode, but I have been. Where at the end of the episode, we kind of fly over the others' farm and just kind of see what they accomplished and what they were doing, right? Just kind of, so it's not like it's going to be something that's hidden, right? They're going to figure it out. It's not that serious. It's more just for fun, right? We're just having a good time. Now, rain evidently is in the forecast here today in October. I don't know exactly when that rain is supposed to be here. I haven't looked. It very well may not rain at all in this episode. It might be something later on in the episode. Who knows? Well, hopefully I stopped that recording, and if I didn't, hopefully Future Z will edit that out. But it's a random sneeze out of nowhere. It was like it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. And like normally when you have a sneeze, you know it's coming, and that one just came out of nowhere. But anyway, yeah. So the point here is just for us to all have an enjoyable time, but also try to keep it a competition, because we are legitimately trying to win this series. We really are. And I'm like I said, I might be completely wrong on this statement. I do believe, even though I look like I'm behind, I do think I'm going about this the right way. None of them are doing silage. I'm getting bonus money before we turn it into a field. I understand I'm going to be a little bit behind as far as the number of fields they're going to have to harvest, etc. I still think I'm going about this the right way. I really do. But I guess, only time will tell on if that is a true statement or not, right? Now, what I'm going to probably end up doing here with all of this grass is more than likely I'm going to put as much of this as I possibly can into the meadow, I guess is how I will call it, for our goats, the goat meadow. I don't know for sure if we'll be able to max it out today or not. If we can, we certainly will. We need to spend a little bit of money on doing some paint work, putting some asphalt down or whatever we decide to do around this area. I don't think we'll be doing it today, though. That'll probably be something for November. Now, speaking of that, when the winter months do appear here, we are going to have little to do except for mowing grass and prepping fields. Once that's set, where we have all of our fields set, I think we're going to be struggling. I think all of us will be struggling with finding things to do in the winter. Because a lot of that is going to be, well, really, we're just kind of waiting around for the crop fields to be ready, right? Now, me personally, I will always have at least one grass field. There's a high probability I'm going to have 2 grass fields. Probably one that's a smaller field and one's like a medium to large size grass field. I'm probably always going to have that. A couple of reasons. One, we're going to have a ton of goats here, and there's a high chance that later on in the series I might even expand their area to even have even more goats. 2, we're probably going to be wanting to have some grass fields for those winter months that I just mentioned, right? So we have some things to do. We can make some silage. We can make some money. I really do think that is a pivotal key thing that we need to make sure that we, as in we, I'm saying the Zorch farming channel, we need to make sure that we have. I really think that is one of the big keys to winning and succeeding in this series, is having things to do in the winter months like silage. If we're just waiting around and not really doing a whole lot, I think we're kind of wasting what could potentially be extra money for us, if that makes sense. Now, fully understanding, fully transparent once we have productions going and, we've got the greenhouses and etc. Those are normally going to be best to sell. Obviously, the pumpkins were, last month and this month, but those are normally going to be best to sell in the winter months. I totally get that. We're making, flour, whatever it is we're making, it's normally the winter months. I get that. But once you sell those, you're going to have a ton of money. And if you already have all your fields plotted out and you don't really have a whole lot else you want to put down specifically, I mean, you're not really going to have a whole lot else to do than that. I guess what you could do is, make some productions and put some new stuff down and, stylize, design, etc. But as far as making money every month, which I think is the true key to success in this series, you didn't hear that, Krusty or Rusty. You didn't hear that. But I do think that is the true key to success. So that's why I'm trying to say we're going to attempt to try to always have, 1 or 2 grass fields available for us, so we can mow, silage it up, whatever we decide to do with it, right? Plus, again, we're going to need it for the goats one way or another anyway, right? Now, you might be saying I left a lot of room between those 2 fields and this one. You're right, I did. That was on purpose. That was by design. Maybe eventually it won't be that large, but right now we're not going to be able to mow this whole entire plot of land anyway, right? So we're like I said, we're doing it in chunks anyway, so it's not that big of a deal right now. Maybe later on, once we've got everything kind of sorted out and we've got some bigger equipment, then maybe we make a decision at that point to change things up, if you will, right? But right now, I don't see it as a big deal. So we're going to try to fill. We'll do a quick save here. The guys are kind of nervous about the whole saving thing because, and to be fair, they're correct. You know, they're not able to save it. I have to save it, so they're like, you know, worried and freaking out a little bit about not being able to save once we're done with an episode. And I get that. I totally get it. So I've got that autosave on, and every time it pops up, you know, it pauses the game for them because it's autosaving, right? And so we want that autosave to stay on as much as possible because that is just one way that we can be sure that everyone is confident that there's nothing wrong and that the actual series itself has been saved. We recently just updated. This map had an update. We updated it. We were hoping that there wasn't going to be any issues, and luckily, knock on wood, there wasn't. But you never know. Sometimes you do updates to different maps, and sometimes it's like you got to restart the whole thing. Looks like, you know, this one was perfectly fine with doing an update and without having to redo anything, but hopefully we'll have enough knowledge before something like that might happen. There has been a series in the past, specifically the FS25 series in the past, where an update was made. I was limiting myself from doing it because I knew it would screw it up, but then the way that Giants has stuff set up, sometimes you're just kind of going through the menu quickly and hitting buttons, and you accidentally hit yes to update when you don't really want it to update, and when it did that, the map itself just became really, in my opinion, unplayable. So we kind of scrapped that series. It was a bit unfortunate. We were finally getting in the groove there. I thought we were making some good progress. We were getting really close, I think, to actually, you know, turning the page or going across the line to really being able to make progress to succeed in that series, and then that happened. It's pretty unfortunate, but we're going to hope and we're going to pray that none of that happens here. We're going to at least try to do our research if there is another update and make sure that, you know, nobody on any kind of a Discord or any forum of any sort says don't download it because it screws up your game save file, right? Very lucky it didn't on this one, and hopefully there won't be any more issues, but anyway, let's take a look. When's the rain supposed to be here? 1400. So it's coming close. The rain will be here any minute. Now, to be fair, we don't have a whole lot left before we're going to be stopping the recording of this episode. I would say we have less than 10 actual minutes before we're all going to say, all right, that's enough for this episode. What I'm more than likely going to do, unless something changes, I'm probably in the little off-camera stuff when we're tying up the loose ends and stuff, I'm more than likely going to sell one more load of silage, because we had about one more load of silage in there we could take to the shop today without the stuff that we added in today. And then we'll probably start plowing this field together, but we might end the episode before we're done with that. And then once we're, you know, starting into that process, we more than likely, I will probably go ahead and drill the barley in here off camera. We still have plenty of land to work with, plenty of things to do, and I think having 2 fields ready to go probably be helpful. So no guarantee on that, but we'll see. But I'm thinking I might end up doing a bit of the barley drill there off camera a little bit, depending, right? If I run out of time and I don't have enough time to do it here with our little bonus time that we give each other, then I won't do it, right? Then we'll wait till the next episode. We should. Actually, we're not going to be able to do it next episode, will we? Ooh, so I do need to do it today. Okay, so scratch that whole maybe. I will be re-drilling that section with barley one way or another. Whether it's with you or whether it's off camera, I will be putting barley there. Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't have 3 fields, you know, that we're going to be able to harvest during the harvest season next year, right? Yeah, we've got to do that. We have to do that. Now, what are we going to do November, December, January this time? It's like I said, it's going to be pretty heavy on mowing. I mentioned that a couple of times, and then the other portion of it is going to be trying to set up the fields and probably set up, you know, the rest of the actual plot of land, the yard, the tracks, etc. We're just going to be kind of going through that motion of getting things set up how we like it, things where we want it. Maybe, you know, if we get enough money, maybe we were able to buy, you know, a production, whether it's that aged goat cheese or something else. Maybe we'll be able to buy a production to put down. Who knows, right? Like I said early on, you know, we've got all these animals and you know, greenhouse, etc. I mean, really, we're just going to be selling what we make for the time being when it's the best to sell it until we're able to turn those into something else. Now, I don't know for sure if there's a production for the I don't think there is, but I don't know if there's a production for pumpkins or not. Maybe to make pumpkin pie, that would be nice. I don't know if there is something or not that we have. But if there's a potential for that, I would definitely be willing to do pumpkin pie. I think that would make us some good money. But I guess we'll find out, right? So I'm going to drop this off, and then we're going to hook up to the plow. Now, a lot of you mentioned this, and this is something I did not know. And after watching Rusty, I saw him do it too, and you guys are all kind of pointing towards that. Evidently, if I put the plow on the front of the tractor backwards, it's a little awkward, it's a little weird, a little kind of unrealistic-ish, cheatish, but if you put it on the front of the actual tractor and plow it backwards, it ignores the limit on how fast it can plow it. So I actually upgraded this back to the 9-meter width, which means we can make fields a lot quicker, if you will, right? A lot quicker. So very useful, very nice. I just wish I could pull it from behind, and eventually we will get to that point because we're going to get probably another tractor that can pull stuff. Like you saw, Crustu got a good tractor. That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite tractor of all time that he got that was in the used market. I think he's changed like tractors multiple times now. He does not like this MB, and I could totally get it. The MB, it's difficult to use in this series, and that was the point. The point was for it to be difficult, but he has been struggling, so he's been changing tractors a lot. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to get at is he may or may not have upgraded the tractor again, which it looked like to me like he did. So that's a good tractor he got, though. It really is. It's a very, very, very good one. It's got a nice amount of horsepower for it. It can pull a lot of stuff in the actual game itself, whether it's a mod or not. It can pull a lot of stuff. So it is a very good one. But nonetheless, we are going to leave the episode at this point. Like I said, I'm going to continue doing the plowing here. I'm going to get this field set. I will also drill it with barley. Get it ready to go. And as you can see, we are cruising along here, plowing with it backwards. It's a very weird setup, but it works. So it is what it is, right? We're going 12 miles per hour, so it makes it much easier for us to be able to get fields done. But yeah, so I will get the rest of this section here. You kind of see the section we're going to be doing, right? You saw the mowing, so you kind of know already what it's going to look like. But I'm going to get it plowed up, and then, like I said, I'll put in some barley, and that way we have at least 3 fields that we drilled between now and the next season. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button on the case you have yet to do so. Both of those things are free to do. They help me out a ton. Thank you so much to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. Before I leave, as always, I will give you a bit of a flyby here of everyone else to see what they accomplished today. It's going to be helpful for me as well to see how far behind potentially I was put, or I feel like I am today. And, we'll kind of be able to go from there and see how we're doing in comparison. I think those goats that I'm putting in are going to be a tremendous help. I think these 3 fields we got are going to be a huge help. I think we're on the right track here, gang. I think this is going to be good. All right, so it looks like Rusty is, well, he's got another field drilled here. He's in the process of liming this field. It looks like that's really the only specific things I see that he got done today. So I feel like we did an okay job there. Now, Crustu has tons and tons and tons and tons of fields here. But it looks like he's got... it looks like he's only literally got 1 field that he's in the process now of plowing. Or, drilling. But he's got multiple fields plowed up. So he's he's moving along nicely. He's got some really, really large fields. So this is it's an interesting take, right? If you look at mine compared to theirs, it definitely looks like I am slightly behind, but at the same time, I at the same time don't feel like I am, because he's got this field drilled. This field is not drilled, right? Yeah, it's not drilled. This field's not drilled. This field's not drilled. This one is going to be drilled. So he's only going to have 2 that are ready too. Now, are they larger than the ones we have? Yeah, you could definitely say they're larger than the ones we have. But I still think we're in a good spot here, gang. I really do. This is a massive goat pasture. Look at how big that is compared to what they've got. I mean, mine is massive. Anyway, enough about that. Thanks so much for watching once again. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are the best. And we will see you next time.